All right. So we had a question that, okay, we know what is ROD, what is AFS. So let me first go to that particular slide where we have ROD and AFS explained. Did we cross that? Yeah, here only. Sorry, it is here only. My bad. So we know these are storage locations, and storage locations, it is received on dock. So when a good or a material comes to this particular storage location, then we know that this is in our warehouse, this is in our premises, but it is still not made available to the customers. So we cannot make any kind of sale or any kind of customer related transaction on these particular product or these material, because this is still in the warehouse. There are certain internal steps, internal processing that is yet to be done. It could be like the quality inspection, some kind of packing, maybe various things that needs to be done. So it is still in the GR zone where we have received it in our premise, but it is not available for sale or any kind of customer transaction. Now, once we move this material through some internal movement, or after doing the quality inspection or whatever internal warehouse processes we want to do on those material, we move this product to a specified bin. It could be a high rack storage, or it could be a specific bin where we will move this material. When that material moves from the GR zone or the staging area to that specific bin, then we make it available for the sale. So as soon as this product is moved to that particular area, it is available for sale. What do we mean by available for sale? That now the customers or their dealers will be able to see their product as available, and if they want to order this product or this material, they would be able to do that. And what would be the subsequent steps? So once a customer places an order, then the outbound delivery would start, and then that particular product or material will be picked from that specific storage bin. And then if packing is required, it would be taken to the packing area, and there the packing would be done. And then the outbound delivery would start, and it would get delivered to the customers. Now, similar to this ROD and AFS, prod is related to production supply area. So if it is if a product is in a storage location, which is typically referring to a production supply area or a production storage area, then we call it as, we mark it as this prod. This would be, I would be showing it in the example as well. So in the storage location or storage type, if it is moved to a prod storage type, then this we could consider it as a product or a material which is for the production supply area. Similar to that, this FIN is fixed bin storage. I am not sure why this is FIN, but yeah, I searched for it. It is fixed bin storage. So, for example, some of the materials, let's say if we take example of engine, generally you would not be placing an engine on the higher racks of this high rack storage. You would be placing it in the lowest level on the high rack storage, or there could be specified bins. For example, if you are storing those screws, bolts, so those will be stored in bulks, and you cannot be storing those screws, bolts in multiple bins. So you will have a dedicated bin for storing certain type of material. That will be fixed bin storage. So when a material moves to that particular bin, which is a fixed bin storage, then the storage location would be marked as a fixed bin, and you will have a storage type and a storage location number for that.
Quick question here.
Yeah.
For that, we have storage types, right? Why do we need a separate storage location?
So if you see this storage location, this is from the ERP side. Whatever transactions you are doing, your storage location, your plant and storage location combination, your warehouse will be linked to a storage type in the EWM. So yes, it will be a storage type. In the EWM side, you will be moving in a storage bin or a storage type only, but that status will change on the ERP side also. Since it is mentioned in this slide, I am opening this slide and explaining it from here, but it will be in the storage type. When I show you in the system, I will be showing you the storage type only. But based on that,
I understood that point. My point is, why do we need a separate storage location for it? If I need some products dedicatedly to be stored in some bins, I can create a new storage type under AFS location itself. And for those products, I can maintain the fixed bins, right? Still, you have a differentiation at the storage type level. Why do I need a differentiation at the storage location level?
So if you want to configure it, let's say if you want AFS storage location to be considered as a fixed bin, you can do that. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to create separate storage location for each activity that you're doing, but this is for the explanation purpose. There are separate storage location defined with a specific number. So if you want to utilize, let's say, AFS as a specific fixed bin storage, you can do that. It depends how you are configuring your EWM or how you're configuring your ERP components. Maybe
Okay,
it could be, for example, if you're utilizing AFS as a production storage location also. Maybe, I mean, it is how you are configuring your system. It depends.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Similar to that, this IM is inventory managed. So what happens is when you are supplying products to a production facility, not necessarily each production facility is connected to an EWM warehouse. Some of the production facility are internally managing their inventory using an IM, inventory management module of SAP. And if you are configuring a storage type or a storage location related to IM, inventory management, then that is being represented by IM. And you will have a storage location. And similarly, in EWM side, you will have a storage type for that. So now let me go to the system. And if you see, I am still into the storage type node, and you can see the description of some of the storage type. For example, yeah, if you see this one, this is a fixed bin storage. This is a bulk storage. Similarly, we should see something for production at least. Yeah. You can see this particular bin, which is for production supply. So that is the prod we were discussing. This one is FI that we were discussing. And available for sale also, it should be there. At least that should be configured. Even in the warehouse which we are using, 1710, we have a production supply area. And this is used for that particular production supply, and there is a bin defined for that. Can you see anything related to, or maybe let me check in the table also, I can do that. So this is from the ERP side, but yeah, no, not everything is configured. So you can understand this. I mean, it's a test system. So again, not everything could be available. And again, it depends what kind of warehouse or what is the purpose of warehouse. Accordingly, we will have that storage type and then the link storage location on the ERP side. So a lot of configuration is happening in the background. So, I mean, I am just showing you at the high level, master level data that you need to understand these terminologies. But it is not only that you are moving this material, some of the indicators will also change as you are moving this material to a specific storage bin. And we don't want to go into the details. We are not going to discuss what all indicators are changing. But since this was a question, I hope it is clear now that what the other prod, FIN, and IM means. I don't know who had asked this question, but I hope it is clear now. Okay, I'll take that silence as no more question. Or if you have any other questions on the topic that we discussed, or the topics that we discussed day before we move on to the next topic. All right. So we had discussed the organizational components on the ERP side. And we have discussed the organizational components on the EWM side as well. And we know that the warehouse number is a central unit on the EWM side. It is the highest level in the hierarchy, and everything is then further you will have storage type, storage section for an warehouse. And we have also discussed that even in the same physical premise, you can have multiple warehouse configured. So that is called as a logical separation. Maybe it will be the same physical space, but you are logically separated, or you're creating multiple warehouse based on specific purpose. We discussed that if you want to deliver a specific type of material, or if you want to deliver to a specific location, or similarly, if you want in the inbound scenario, if you are getting a specific type of material, then you will configure a warehouse for that. And then maybe for specific another type of material, you could configure another warehouse for that. And it all depends kind of volume that you want to handle, what is the best way you think that you can optimize your warehouse, and accordingly you will create those organizational components. The warehouse number on the EWM side, we know it's a 4-character number or in fact alphanumeric. It could be alphanumeric. So There are 4 characters for it. So you can either use an alphabet or a number to define a warehouse number. But on the ERP side, it is of 3 characters. Then moving to the other components. So in warehouse structure, like the main warehouse number, and then it is further categorized or further subdivided into storage type, storage section, storage bin, activity area also we'll discuss. Quant is not required for us. We are more into the technical aspect of it, so not everything is important for us. So we will be discussing about the storage type, storage section, bin, and activity area. Okay, so let's take the theoretical definitions of a storage type. So warehouse is further divided into a storage type, and it could be like, how your organization or how technically you are further categorizing your warehouse. And then you can see some of the examples. It could be bulk storage, high rack storage, picking area. So if you are storing something in the picking area so that it can be picked, then you are defining it as a storage type. Again, this could be 4 digits. So let us take our same example, the example of Tata Motors. We have been discussing that example. So Tata Motors will be producing cars, and to produce that car, it will require a lot of components. And those components, those parts will be of various characteristics. When I say various characteristics, the weight, the size of those parts could be very different. Some of the parts could be liquid as well. If we want to also store those engine oils, maybe the brake oils, then probably those needs to be stored differently. There could be some part which would require special type of climate. Maybe not in the case of Tata Motors, but let's say if Tata Motors is producing electric vehicles, then if those batteries are coming directly from the factory or from where those lithium has been mined, then it needs certain kind of acclimatization. You cannot directly use it in your battery production. It needs certain kind of acclimatization. You need to store it in a dry area. You need to store it in a controlled temperature. Then for such kind of things, you define the various storage type. So for example, if we take example of engines, then you will be storing those engines, let's say in the high rack storage, and in the high rack storage, probably in the lowest shelf, so that you do not need to lift those engines higher up, because those will be really heavy, and you don't want to lift those engines and put it in a storage bin which is on the higher racks. We are going to use, let's say, high rack storage, but we are going to use the lower levels of the high rack storage. Let's say, for example, the smaller components, let's say, for example, the infotainment system, the screens, that we might place in the higher racks. Some of the components which we need on a regular basis, we would probably again put it on the lower shelf, or maybe we would put it in a bulk storage. For example, the nuts and the bolts we discussed about. So those we are going to store in the bulk storage, where we are putting everything in one, let's say, one box, and then you can pick it up when it is needed. Some of the, again, you can see the picking area. So you will have a storage type which will be defined as a picking area, from where in case of outbound scenarios, the warehouse workers or your AGVs would come and pick those goods, and then the further processing would happen. Then after storage type, then again, it is further subdivided into storage section. What happens is, again, a storage section would be a subdivision of storage type. It will be combining some of the storage bins. What we are going to do by combining these storage bins? So let's take the example. For example, tires. We would need the tires on an urgent basis. For example, I'm considering, let's say we need the tire on an urgent basis. Then probably we would be placing it in such an area in our warehouse where that could be picked quickly and that could be delivered. Tires is not a good example. Let us take the example of bulk storage, where we are storing those nuts and bolts. This we might need on demand as well. So let's say if when they are doing a quality inspection of the vehicle, they find that one screw is missing, and they will not create an order or something. Even from a production side, they would not release an order to get that screw probably procured, or maybe they could follow a certain process, but it needs to be made available on the assembly line immediately. Then that particular storage should be accessible so that the warehouse workers can quickly come and pick that particular product and can be delivered to the production supply area. So again, it depends what kind of product, what kind of material you are handling in your warehouse, what is your need. We discussed about the various type of product. Some products needs to be stored in a specific atmosphere, which could be the temperature, which could be a dry area. Some products which needs to be accessed very quickly, then again it should be stored in that particular area so that it can be accessed quickly. And that grouping of those bins is called as a storage section. So it will be one level below storage type, but it will be combining some of the storage bins. Then the lowest level in this hierarchy is the storage bin. So storage bin is the actual location where your product will be stored. So you will have a bin number, and then you can locate that, okay, this product is in this specific bin. So for our understanding, let us take an example of any medical shop. You can relate it to a very small warehouse. So let us understand the medical shop. As soon as you enter, you will generally see shelves behind the salesperson, and whatever medicine you request for, he will quickly go to that particular bin and he will get that medicine and will give it to you. So how is he or she able to identify, okay, where this particular medicine is placed? Then again, they have that kind of storage. So storage type also they have. Like if you will see, if they pull out their drawer, all the general medicines like for fever, for cough and cold, they will be mostly storing in the drawer because that needs to be accessed on a regular basis. I mean, I'm giving an example. They might place it differently as well, but generally they would put it in a drawer and they will just pull out the drawer and they will give you a paracetamol or a Calpol. They might have specific section. Let's say if you are looking for medicine related to headache, then they would go into that area and then they know that, okay, this medicine is there, and then they will pick it up. Or maybe they are alphabetically, they are like numbering their boxes or the bins, and then based on the medicine name, they go to that particular storage bin and then they pick that product. So again, they have this kind of categorization, knowingly or unknowingly, where each box is acting like a storage bin. Then some of the products which needs to be accessed on a regular basis, you will see that they are like, it would be near to the person where that person is sitting, and so that they can access that quickly and then they can hand it over to the customers. And then also some of the rarely used medicines, like for example, I'm taking maybe for COVID, for cancer related medicines. Now that is not that frequently needed, then they will probably put it on higher racks, or maybe they will put it on another floor or something. And then once a customer requests for that, they will go there and then they will pick it up and they will bring it and deliver to the customer. So I just explained that to relate. They are not actually, they might not be configuring a warehouse number and storage type, but in their mind, they are having that kind of configuration so that they are easily able to access those medicines and deliver it to the customers. Let us try to see an image of an warehouse if I have. I don't know. Okay, so this one only we could take. So you can see that these are the storage sections, and we have already discussed that the staging area, deconsolidation area, packing area, then outbound staging area. These are the storage bin. And you can see this storage type, which is in high rack storage. You can see there are various shelves which has been produced, which has been maintained over here. And then you have a storage section. So let's say this is for a specific type of material which you need on a frequent basis. Maybe here you are storing the engine related components. So that way you can categorize, and then the specific boxes that you see, that is the lowest level of hierarchy in the warehouse org structure. That is the storage bin. Any questions on this? Okay. And we have seen the storage type, storage section. Storage bins we have not seen. That not seen in the system. So we will see that as well. But it is not directly created like warehouse number or storage type or storage section. There is a slight different logic that they are maintaining, and then the bin gets created based on that. So if you see this, the naming convention which is followed for a bin is ASL. So A stands for aisle, and S, let me check the exact full form of these, but it is the aisle, then it is the section, and then it is the label. I think the name is also like that only. Yeah, right. So these are the coordinates. One is the aisle, then stack, and then label. So what happens is, if you see in warehouse, you will have multiple like racks placed, and then the aisle is the area which is between those racks. If you go to that particular aisle, then you can pick the material which is on the both the sides of the aisle, and accordingly there will be multiple aisles. So the coordinates of a bin, the first two characters that represents the aisle. Then again, in one aisle, there could be multiple stacks. What do I mean by stacks? So like, I mean, those vertical racks that you're seeing, there could be 3, 4, 5 placed side by side. So those will be the stack number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever numbers you are giving, it will be the stack number. Then on each stack, you will have multiple levels. So the first level, which is the lowermost level, then as you move up in that stack, you will see the different levels of the stack. So this is how generally a bin number is generated. So these are the coordinates of a bin, and then accordingly you can identify. We had one diagram over here. Yeah. So if you see this area, this is aisle 1. If you see over here, you have aisle 2, and so on. You will have multiple aisles. Then you can see this one box. Let's consider these are almirahs placed side by side. Then the first almirah is stack 1, and then so on. If you move towards the right, you will have stack 2, 3, 4, and so on. And similarly, in this side, you might have different stack numbers. Then on each stack, you can see different labels. Probably here we see a label till 5. So you will have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. And accordingly, according to the coordinates, you can locate a specific bin. So let's say if you know that, okay, the bin number 29, then you know it is in aisle 1. So warehouse worker will not be going into each and every aisle. The person knows that it is in aisle 1. It is in stack 2, or maybe if it is stack 2, then this is stack 3, then it is in stack 3, and then it is in level 1, so that the person can easily locate that bin. He is not searching for that bin. There is another concept which I will explain, which is bin sorting sequence. So let's say you have ordered something from Myntra. What you have ordered? You have ordered 2 t-shirts, 2 jeans, 1 sunglasses, and 1 cap. You have ordered 4 products. And each of these 4 products would be stored in different storage bin. So let's say your t-shirts are in stack 1, your jeans is in stack 2, your sunglasses in aisle 2, stack 1, and similarly your cap is in aisle 3, let's say stack 3. Any random numbers I have taken, and you can see in that stack, you can take any bin number. Now, the warehouse worker, once he starts picking those materials so that he can pack and send it to the customer, he will look for the most optimized path. That point of time, bin sorting sequence come into picture. For us, this is enough that we know that there is a concept of bin sorting, where the most optimizing path or how the bins are sorted, in that order the picking task would be happening. That is enough. How it is configured, it is more from the functional side, and it is the EWM functional component.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So according to the bin number, there would be a short sequence defined for bin. And then based on the short sequence, the warehouse worker will move in that particular order. So first he will come to aisle, he will pick the t-shirt and jeans, then he will move from here and it will come down to aisle 2. and then he will pick the sunglass, and then he will go from here to aisle 3, and he will pick the cap. Or maybe if the short sequence is otherwise, let's say he might start from aisle 3 and then pick up the cap, then to aisle 2 sunglasses, and then come and pick the t-shirts. Why he could do that? Because let's say the outbound area is, or the packing area is near to this aisle 1, then he would follow the other sequence. Whatever, I mean, that would be done by the system and how you have configured your warehouse. According to that, you can do that. Then again, in the storage bin, there are many other components. Where is that slide? Yeah. So if I go to the system here, so in the storage bin, again, you will see you have, if I expand this node, you will have storage bin types, storage bin access type. Again, you have multiple parameters or multiple characteristics of a storage bin. We do not need to understand each and everything of it. So you just know this, and this is included in the slide. If you want to read it, well and good. If you want to ignore it, that is fine, because again, these are from the functional perspective, they know that what is the different storage bin types. Maybe if I just show you one example. So again, let's say if you have a bin type, let's say there is an area, so that material is damaged or it is not in proper shape or color, you want to block that material, then you will have a specific bin or a number of bins dedicated for that. And if that material moves through that, then the status changes to block. So then again, you would have defined different bin types and you would move that material in the bin type. That is one example. Even for access, you will have different access types also for bin. You can see that these are HLOP, these are different access type. I think it is the name of the equipments they are using. So depending upon the access type. So let's say, for example, if you are storing something on the highest level of that particular stack, then you will require a crane to access that. If you're putting it on the lowest level, then even the forklift or your AGV or even the warehouse worker manually can pick that or access that particular bin. So again, the different access types also for the bin is defined. And then you have other parameters. I'm not going into each and every node. You have various parameters that this is how the bins are defined. And then we discussed about the structure. So you can see the structure, they are maintaining this table, and based on this table, the bin numbers are generated. So again, during the initial load, when they are configuring or they want to generate new bins, then this table or this configuration, what they have done is referred, and then accordingly the bin numbers are generated. And most of the places you will see that this, what we have explained, aisle, stack, and label, and accordingly the numbers would be maintained. And you will see that some incremental value is also maintained. Generally, it will be 1, 1, 1 only, that so that each gets incremented by 1, and you will have a start and end also. So this is the start value and end value. So it will be in that particular range. So again, different depending on various types, any of the templates they use, and then the bin numbers are generated. So only knowing this, that okay, it will have a structure like this, aisle, stack, and label, and then the bin numbers get generated in an incremental order. Some places you will see that they are only maintaining the aisles. I don't know what exactly each configuration is doing, but yeah, again, they are maintaining the configuration, start, end value, the increment, and what will be the structure of the bin. Accordingly, the bin numbers are generated. All right. Then one topic that we want to discuss is the activity area. So let's go to that slide. Okay. So again, it's again a logical grouping of your various bins. So depending on the activity that you're performing, you will group a set of bins, and you will define that, okay, what kind of activity it can be performed over there. There could be various activity. It could be picking, it could be packing, it could be put away, it could be even for GR also. They, if you are just unloading and then doing a GR also, then you can have an activity area defined for that as well. So it depends how you are defining your activity area. And then on those multiple bins, you will see that, okay, that activity can be performed. So a very good example, we will see this also, the put away bins. So if you have defined an activity area on a bin, then only on that particular bin you will be able to do a put away. So let's say if I go to the next screenshot where you have this. Okay, so let's say activity 3 is a activity area P3 is a put away activity area. So if you have a material placed somewhere here, which is in the green box, and if you try to do a put away on that particular material, which is in this bin, it will not allow you to do that. Maybe then you need to move that from this particular bin to the other activity area, which is in activity area P3, then you will be able to do a put away. Similarly, if you want to do a pick activity and you have defined an activity area for a specific set of bins, then on those bins, you will be able to perform that activity. Going to the system. Okay, so you define the activities first for activity area. So you can see the put away activity, replenishment activity, stock removal, internal movement. There are many more. So you define the activity and you give us activity code to that. And these are the activities that you will be performing in your warehouse. And then you define the activity area. So if you go to this node, sorry, I was not prompting the nodes, it's small. So we are going into the HCM Extended Warehouse Management and Extended Warehouse Management, where we have been seeing all the warehouse org structures. In that particular subnode only, we have one, which is an activity area. And in the activity area, one subnode or the tab is activities. So we have seen what all activities has been defined in our EWM system. And then you have the different activities area also defined. So like for warehouse number, you have that activity area. So whatever you have defined in the previous screen, those numbers you can use, and then you can define or assign that activity area as per your warehouse. Then like for 1710, you can see this activity area, and then you need to go and check what are these activity areas. Then also this would be assigned to the bins also. So assign storage bins to activity area. So if I go down here, so not everything has been properly assigned, but yeah, you can see the activity area and then some of the aisle start date and aisle start and end they have maintained. So for aisle 01, this activity area has been assigned. This activity area has been assigned for aisle 2. And maybe similarly, they have done a various configuration assigning here you can see that they have assigned an activity area to this aisle start and end, this stack start and end. All right. So this is it. So now we know all the components, both on the ERP side and on the EWM side, the basic components. I have not covered the very great details of each and every component, but the basic components, the basic terminology that you need to know, like we know the plant, we know the storage location, we know the ERP warehouse number. Then coming to the EWM side, we know the warehouse number on the EWM side, we know storage type, we know storage section, we know storage bin, we know activity area, then different storage type, like high rack storage, whatever, packing, scrapping, and then different storage section for fast moving, slow moving, based on velocity, based on quantity. We have different storage sections as well. And then the lowest level, we know the storage bin. Okay, at least the terminologies should be clear to you. If you do not remember the SPRO notes, that is fine. You can refer to this particular video and just go through it. And I think also in the lab assignment, you need to create a map of the org structures, both on the ERP side and on the EWM side that we will be using. And I think we were making a note of that, but I think I somehow closed that. My bad. But anyways, we are going to see those org components when we are creating the inbound delivery, internal movement. Then also we will see that. So the basic org structure is done. Any questions on this? Okay. All right. Then let me close this slide. Okay. Then let us see some of the master data related tables. Again, not everything is relevant for us, but we will see the product master data, packaging specification, we will see packaging specification structure also we will see. The business partner and product, that is fine. So we are going to see that as well. Okay, sorry. The most important, you can see the master data between ERP and EWM system. if we are using a decentralized EWM, then of course the master data, whatever we have in the ERP system, for example, the material master, all the BP business partners, whether it is vendor, customers, whatever we are creating, even the plants we are creating, the corresponding needs to be moved or mapped in the EWM system. So for that, we are using a common interface. We need to do the configuration, and then those master data needs to be moved, or the parallel components needs to be created in the EWM system as well. For transactional data, again, if you are using a decentralized EWM, then you need to have a body activation. You need to define the destinations, RFC destinations between the systems, and then your transactional data, the inbound delivery, outbound delivery, or maybe any internal movements that you're doing, those transactional data will be flowing to and fro between these two systems. Since we are using embedded EWM, this transactional data will be available in our same system, both ERP data and the EWM data. But again, there are separate set of tables. There are separate set of transactions that we need to access. For example, even let's say in case of a sales order, if you are creating a sales order, although the material is maintained, but the relation you are going to maintain with that material in your sales order item as well. So similar kind of thing, although it is the same system, but the relation will be maintained, and those relations we are going to access through different transactions, and then we will see the different tables, different transactions. So from now onwards, it would be we would be talking more from a technical perspective or EWM ABAP perspective. We have seen the high level architecture or overview of the EWM, the basic terminologies. Now we would be seeing more from the ABAP perspective or technical perspective. So the transaction, both the inbound delivery gets created in ERP, it gets distributed to EWM, and then once the GR or internal movements happen in the EWM, then the data is updated on the ERP side as well. Everything we are going to see, how inbound delivery and outbound delivery process, we are going to see as a part of this course also. So, but before that, let me go to the system again. 2701. So let me access any of the material. So all of you are very much aware about this Mara table, which is for the material on the ERP side. So where we are creating this material, the T code for that is MM01. So this is the T code where you will be creating those materials. And if you want to select or view a specific material, then the same thing, MM03. So only the last character will change and you will see that particular value. So let me take any particular material. Click on this. Okay, or data is not there. But anyways, I just want to show you. So you can see this is the material which is available on the ERP side. You can see the description, weight, and everything. And then in different views, you can see the various data that is related to this material. If it is extended for a plant, if it is extended for a specific sales area, then you can see all those components. But yeah, in the ERP side, the table where all this material is stored is the Mara table. So you can see I have selected this, and the total number of records in the Mara table is 2701. That is the total number of records that is there in this Mara table. Now, you cannot access the material directly from this table in the EWM side. So this needs to be copied, or the master data needs to be synced on the EWM side. And on the EWM side, it is called as product master. And the table for that is, okay, so this is the table SAP APO and / SAP APO and MAT key. And you will find a slight difference. Most of the table and most of the transaction that we are accessing in EWM will be like this, not necessarily with APO, but it will have /SCWM. So it will have SCWM and / and then you will have some additional name. Even in the transaction, most of the time you will see it like this, SCWM, and then some name for that. So we are accessing product table. So you can see the description also, it says product, and each material on the EWM side is called as product. So when your functional consultant or when your business person is saying a product, then you know it is the same. It is the material, but only it is like created or extended on the EWM side. And then you know this is the table where you can access that product information. If I see the total number of records here also, it is 2701. So I think each and every material what is there on the ERP side has been extended or created on the EWM side. Let me take the same material which I had copied. So I'll go to MM03 once again. That was 36. Let me see if I give the mat number here. Do I get an entry? Yes, we get an entry. And you can see the material which has been extended on the EWM side. And there is an hexadecimal or GUID number which is also created on the EWM side, which is called as mat ID. And this matner is again coming from your ERP material number. And then this is the product which is extended on the EWM side. You have the components which could be relevant from the EWM perspective maintained over here. So this is about the product. Then another component is pack spec. What is pack spec? So let us consider if you order a t-shirt, then Myntra will generally wrap it in a polythene bag, or then on top of the polythene bag, they will use the Myntra cover, and then they will deliver it to you. If you order a laptop, then probably the laptop would first be placed in the internal carton, which is generally provided by the company. So if you're using an HP laptop, then probably HP would give a carton, then the laptop would be first placed in that carton. Then a bigger box, they would put that carton, they would put some more thermocols into that, and then finally that big carton would be shipped to the customers. Similarly, if you order a more delicate item, let's say a glass cookware, then again, they would put it in first the product carton, then they might put some more thermocols, and they might wrap it with a sellotape or something, and then they put it in a hard carton. This time it would not be the same paper carton. They might put it in a hard carton, and then they might ship it to you, so that during the transit, it is not broken. So every material, depending upon its qualities, could be packed into a specific type of product. And even the package that you are using, that is also a material from system perspective, from EWM perspective, that is also a material. So even the paper wrappers that you are using, the sellotapes that you are using, the big boxes that you are using is a packaging material. And that is also material also in the system. So some of the materials would be defined as a packaging material, and then that we are going to see. Okay, so let us go to the transaction first of the pack spec. So the transaction for pack spec is, I'll do first /n/SCWM. So I am giving that prefix, which is for related. And then the transaction is pack spec. This is the keyword. This is the transaction pack spec. And the prefix SCWM is there. Let me do an /O. Okay, so this is the pack spec transaction. Let me see if I have any data available here. Let me try one random number. Yeah, okay. So this is a pack spec. If this is a pack spec number, if I click on this, yeah. So in this, you can see that in the pack spec, this is the pack spec number. Description, picking into a wire basket trolley. So this is a wire basket trolley. And even you see, this is also a kind of a packaging material, and it would have that component. If you see that component, what it is, that would be defined as a material as well. So if I go to the packaging material, this is the packaging material. If this is on the ERP side, yeah, you can see that material, EWM default wire basket trolley, this is the material which has been defined as a packaging material. So you have a packaging specification number created for this, and you can see that it is not relevant for this to have a gross weight or net weight. So all those things are not there. Maybe it could have something related to packaging specification, but that is fine. I just wanted to show you that this is also configured as a material in the system. So this is the material in the system, and then it will have one quantity. You will have various details mentioned over here. But if you will see the label sequence, here it is label 1. What do we mean by this label sequence? So if you will take the example of laptop or the glass cookware we discussed, So the laptop would be first packed in the carton which has been provided by the company which is manufacturing it. For example, if it is an HP laptop, then HP will give you a carton or a box, whatever they are giving, it would be first placed in that. So that is level 1. Or in fact, it is the other way around. So if you go down, then the level keeps on increasing. And then that entire laptop along with the laptop box will be packed in another bigger box that will be level 2, and then you have the final box which will be shipped to the customers. So let me try to explain this. Okay, so the first one is the outmost box. This will be L1. Then inside this, it would be packed in HP bag or box, whatever you think. And then this is the material, and this is the actual material. And since it is on the EWM side, I should not call it material, it is product. So this is the product. It is first packed in this, and then it is packed in this. So this is level 1, and then so on the levels are there. In EWM, in some cases, you will find level 3, level 4, depends what kind of product you are handling in your warehouse. Okay. So I am not sure if I could find any other packaging specification which is having multiple levels. No, it is not there. So this is having only one level where you are directly putting that material into your wire cart, and that is only one level of packaging material. So in EWM, whatever you are using, whether you are using a cart, whether you are using a pallet, whether you are using a trolley, conveyor, everything will be defined in the system. So it could be packaging, it could be a material, it could be an HU, whatever. So it will be defined in the system. Okay. Any questions on these the product specification or the master data related to the product and product specification? Transactional data we will see, but any questions on the master data, these two master data that we have seen? So I have updated. We are starting our discussion with the inbound flow as well. So I have updated the content. So in the meeting links, I have added inbound process as well. So because we are starting with inbound process, it will continue in the next class as well. All right. So what do you understand by inbound flow? A very generic question, not from a warehouse perspective, not from SAP perspective. What do you mean by inbound?
Inward, like whatever incoming kind of thing.
Goods is coming. And what would be the reference for goods to come? So for example, let us take we as a customer. If we want certain products to be coming to our society, to be coming to our flat, to be delivered, what would be the reference for that?
ASN?
ASN is correct. ASN is correct. It's a notification. It is correct. It is a notification which suppliers is sending. But what I am intending is towards a purchase order and a sales order. So what I will do is, if I want to order something, I want to order, let's say, groceries, I will create a purchase order that, okay, I will go to, let's say, any application, Reliance Smart, Blinkit, wherever. I go to that particular application. I create an order, which is a purchase order from my side. And in that purchase order, I will add all the materials which I want. I will add the delivery location. I will add the delivery date. If possible, if I want to deliver it to a specific date, I would add the delivery date as well. And then that purchase order will go to Reliance Smart or will go to a specific shop from where I'm ordering. And then based on that purchase order, it will get converted to a sales order on the seller side. So seller will consider it as a sales order on their side with reference to that purchase order. And then he will see that, okay, what all materials which needs to be delivered, when it needs to be delivered, where it needs to be delivered. Then, of course, then he could do an ASN as well, which is advanced notification. So what he will do that, okay, your product is ready. It will get shipped, let's say, evening. He is giving that kind of notification. These are the products that you can expect to be delivered evening. And some of the products he will say that, okay, we are going to deliver it morning. Let's say you have ordered milk as well. So he says that, okay, milk is not available. We will deliver it early morning. Then you have given the shopkeeper or the Reliance Smart has sent you a notification. And then based on the notification, you know when which product is coming to your place, when. and what all is coming. Then the delivery person comes, delivers that product to your place, and then he will hand over a paper. Or if you are doing it digitally, you will compare with the ASN that you have got, that okay, these are the product I was supposed to receive. Have I received that or not? Once you validate it, probably you will acknowledge to the salesperson that okay, everything is fine, and then that particular order is marked as closed and it has been delivered to your location. A very simplistic example of the inbound delivery flow. This would happen in any case. Do you agree to this? I have not added any EWM related stuff into it, but this is how generally an inbound delivery would happen. And then once your product has arrived to your location, let's say you have ordered paneer, you have ordered butter, you have ordered groceries, you have ordered vegetables, then what you do for paneer and for butter, you need to put it in a refrigerator. That is a specific storage type and specific storage bin, because if you put it outside, it will melt and the shelf life of that will reduce and you will not be able to use it. So you need to put it in a refrigerator. Now you can link it or what could be in storage type or what could be in a storage bin or a section. So that is a specific storage type where you need to store a specific type of material. Okay. Then if you have received vegetables and fruits, let's say you follow a process that you first wash it and then you keep it in the grocery basket or in the fruit basket. Then that is a specific category of product. You put it in a specific storage type, and then you have a dedicated bins, one for the fruit basket, one for the vegetable basket. You put it there. Then other grocery items, the pulses, the lentils, rice, wheat, whatever you have ordered, then you have another containers for those and you put those into the containers. Some of the wrappers you discard and then you throw it in the garbage. So that goes to the scrapping area or whatever you want to do with that, you want to dispose it, you can do that. So this is very similar how a warehouse functions. Here also, when we see how a warehouse function, we will see that we will have a purchase order. In that purchase order, we will have the materials defined, and then based on that material, in our example right now, we will not see, and we would not be receiving an ASN in our case now. Then the inbound delivery will happen. Then you will do a good receipt on the inbound delivery, and then you do a put away. What do we mean by put away? You are putting it in the specific storage bins. The refrigerator, the fruit basket, the vegetable basket, the containers for putting your rice, wheat, whatever you have ordered. So all those things, what we just discussed, let us see that in the system and from an EWM perspective.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Close this sessions. Okay. Anyone remembers the transaction code for viewing a purchase order, at least, if not creating a purchase order, for viewing a purchase order? Anyone remembers that? Okay.
For displaying with a?
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
23. And
correct. So that is what even I am entering. So I am entering the transaction code ME23N, which is for displaying a purchase order. I go to this particular transaction. Okay, by default, it has taken the last purchase order which I might have viewed, and this is the one which we want to use. So this is the purchase order number. If you want to view any other purchase order, then you click on this button, other purchase order, and then you can enter any other purchase order and then you can view it. But this is fine. This is the one which we want to use. In this purchase order, you can see the supplier. What would be the supplier? To the grocery order example, can you tell me what is a supplier here? Is it the shop, the Reliance Mart, or the specific shops from where I have ordered? Will that be my supplier? Yes, no. Who will be the supplier?
the one who is delivering the goods.
Correct. delivering the goods is not correct because they might have intermediate transportation. They have transportation partners. So the delivery could be done by another organization, could be possible. But the one who is actually sending us the goods,
Supplying the goods, yeah.
supplying the goods, that would be the correct term. The one who is actually supplying the good. So you need to have this supplier also registered. So even if you log into Zomato, Swiggy, you have certain restaurants. The restaurant, those who are listed on those platforms, only those will be able to supply you the food, right? If you know there is a restaurant which is nearby your premise, but if it is not registered on Zomato or Swiggy, then from Zomato, if you're ordering something, that restaurant will not be able to supply you food. Correct? So similar way, if you are ordering something, this supplier is already registered. And we are using a specific supplier where while creating the PO in ME21N, I have taken this supplier. So this is the supplier who is going to supply us this material. What is the material? This is the material number. And we have already seen that this is the material. It should be available in the product master as well. So let me quickly check that. If I go to the mat key table, it is available. It is available. That product is available. And that is the reason you are able to order that product. If this product was not available in the product master, you cannot order that product, right? Similar example, if restaurant is listed, if a supplier is listed, he is supplying only vegetarian food. And if you want to order non-vegetarian food, then you cannot order it from that particular supplier. So in the relation between material and supplier is established somewhere in the configuration. Generally, this is done by the S2P team. They are creating the purchase order. They are creating the delivery schedule and scheduling agreement so that you know when your product will be delivered. And they are creating the purchase orders, the contracts, the scheduling agreement, everything. And we are just going to use that with reference to a purchase order, sometime with reference to a scheduling agreement as well. I'll come to that also. Okay, so you can see the total quantity. So this is the material. This is the description. The total quantity that we are ordering is 500. That is the total quantity we will be delivering. The price, the currency and everything you can see. The final delivery date is 2908. So we have given a delivery date as 2908. Anything which is coming before that will be acceptable. If we are getting a product before that, the system will allow us to do a good receipt and system will allow us to do further processing. But this is the delivery date we are expecting. Before that, the product should be delivered to us. That is the total quantity we have ordered, the 500 quantity that we have ordered in total. Now, if you click on this material, you will see all the material related information, like if it has been extended to a plant. And if you see from example, we said that we will be using this plant 1710, and we are going to use that plant. Various base unit of measure, purchase group, all these are related to purchase orgs, S2P related data. We are not going into details of this. So you can see this particular material. Then on the bottom side, you can see an item view as well. What you see in the item view, and the plant and information which I showed, you can see it over here as well. So if you scroll down all the way to the right, you can see all the information. So very much similar. If you have worked on a sales order, you see the sales order header and then the item details. So very much similar to that. Okay, then in the item details, if you see, this is the material data, same information what I showed you in the last screen. Then what I want to show you is this delivery schedule. If you see, notice these two components. The delivery date is 2908, what we have given. The schedule quantity is the total order quantity. We have ordered 500 quantity in the purchase order. So the total 500 is the scheduled quantity. If you see, this GR quantity is 50 and the open quantity is 450. What do we mean by this? And the GR is good receipt. So whenever I mention a GR, it means the good receipt. So 50 quantity has already been received in my warehouse, and 450 is the open quantity. Where this 450 is coming, 50 has been subtracted from 500 because 50 has been delivered. then the open quantity is 450. So you should be able to receive these many quantities in coming future. Do you understand this? What is GR quantity and what is open quantity? So nothing here. I don't think I have generated the invoices of anything. So you will not see anything over here. If I see a purchase order history, you will see the record and when these quantities has been delivered. So you can see the 10, 10, 10, 50 quantity on 5 different days or 5 different schedules. It has been delivered. So the GR quantity 50 that you were seeing, you can see that amount over here. So good receipt, total 50 quantity, the total amount, and out of 500 open quantity, 50 has been delivered. And according to the price, according to that, the price and everything has been calculated. If there is a delivery address, that will also be shown. So you can see where it is being delivered. You have the address of the customer. And again, this will also be maintained somewhere in the PP transaction as well. So this is the details of a purchase order. We are going to use this purchase order to create inbound delivery. Do you think, can we create an inbound delivery with reference to a scheduling agreement? And can you visualize what could be the challenge with a purchase order, or in which scenario we need to create a scheduling agreement? And all of you know what is a scheduling agreement, at least from a high level perspective. What is a scheduling agreement?
Yes, it's a long-term agreement with the supplier.
Right. Long-term agreement with the supplier, and then you can, in the contract, in the scheduling agreement contract itself, you can define what will be the delivery schedule, how many quantities should be delivered on which date, and everything that you can define, right?
Yeah.
So now coming back to our example of Tata Motors. So Tata Motors is producing 400 vehicles, 400 cars every day. Do you think it makes logical sense that I am creating a purchase order every day, because I would be needing 400 into 4, 1600, or 400 into 5 with a spare tire. So 2000 tires, I would be needing 400 engines, I would be needing 1600 doors, and so on. So do you think I would be creating a purchase order? Then you would probably need a dedicated person who is creating those purchase orders, because every component will be delivered by different suppliers. Someone is delivering the tires, you are getting the tires from MRF. Someone is delivering the doors, you are procuring the let's say speakers from JBL. Then there is a specific dealer for that. Then there, for various components, you are having different suppliers, different locations. They will have a different lead time. So everything needs to be considered. So what happens is, instead of creating a purchase order, we can create a scheduling agreement as well. So with different suppliers, or maybe if the same supplier is delivering multiple materials, then I'll create a scheduling agreement. I'll create a delivery schedule that, okay, every day I want 400 tires or 1600 tires to be delivered to my warehouse by that particular dealer. That I will create in scheduling agreement. And then with reference to the scheduling agreement also, you can create an inbound delivery. So that's basically the same thing. You are creating a purchase order where you are kind of creating an agreement, and with that agreement, you are getting the product delivered. But to automate that process to a certain extent, we could use even the scheduling agreement as well. But for our example, we will be using a purchase order, because I have configured the data and everything for this particular purchase order. And you can use it, plus, but just thing is that please do not consume all the quantities of it. If you are creating purchase order, maybe create for one more. If you're creating GR, do it for one quantity, so that all the PO quantity is not consumed, because I will be using this purchase order for creating the inbound and outbound scenarios. Or what you can do is, you can just do a copy of it, and then you can use that particular purchase order with all other data would remain the same. Just create a copy of it, and then create a certain quantity and a delivery schedule, and then use that purchase order in creating the inbound delivery that we will be discussing in some time. Okay, so now we need to create the inbound delivery. So PO is done. The inbound delivery we need to create. So the transaction for that, and we are creating the inbound delivery on the ERP side, because first, with reference to the purchase order, the inbound delivery will be created on the ERP side. And if it is a specific warehouse on the ERP side, if it is mapped, then automatically the delivery will be distributed to the EWM side, and then EWM related process will happen. And since we are we are going to use that specific warehouse, it will go, it will distribute the delivery, and the data will flow, the transaction data will flow from ERP to the EWM side. So to create the inbound delivery, again, since it is an ERP inbound delivery, many of you are already familiar with this. So the transaction we are going to use is VL31N, because we are going to create. So I'm using 31N. If you want to view, again, same VL33N you can use. Okay, so purchase order, it is taking from the last screen. So this is the same purchase order. Now the supplier, I need to have the same supplier, which is in the purchase order. So I create the supplier. This external ID, this is nothing but the ASN ID. So I will give the ASN number, a dummy ASN number, and let me give date 08/21/08. Okay, so I have given the purchase order, I have given the supplier, and then you can see this. So you can see that it is automatically getting the material. And then you can see the delivery quantity, it is showing as 450. So whatever was there in the open quantity, 50 is already delivered, 500 quantities we have ordered, and the open quantity is 450. So everything is being taken. So what I was saying, when you are creating, please ensure, if you're using the same purchase order, please ensure that you are using one quantity. Otherwise, that whole 450 quantity will be consumed, and then I'll have to again create that purchase order and maintain those quantity. For our reference, for demo purpose in now, I will use 10 quantity, so that you can see some differences. Okay, and all the product related information has already been captured from the purchase order. I don't need to give all those details. So, and let me first save this, and it will create the inbound delivery. So I will click on save, and you can see that inbound delivery was saved and distributed to warehouse management system. So this is EWM related delivery that is happening. I will copy this number and let us see the inbound delivery. So the transaction that I need to go to view this inbound delivery is /OVL33N. It has automatically picked the latest inbound delivery. If I click on enter, so you can see whatever details I had given, accordingly, it has created the inbound delivery. If I go to the header tab, I think the stock placement, you will see the warehouse ERP warehouse number 171. This I had shown you as well when I was showing you the components on the ERP side. So 171 is the warehouse number on the ERP side. Similarly, if I click on this material, you will see the plant and other related information. So you can see the plant or the location and everything that is related to this on the ERP side. Still, because we are seeing the ERP inbound delivery, we have not yet seen the inbound delivery. Okay, and you can see the rest of the status. Put away status is blank. If I go back, goods movement data, if you will see the goods movement status is A, which is not yet started. If you will see the good, it is A, not yet processed, not yet started. So make a note of this, because this statuses will be changing, and I will be showing you when this statuses will be changing. So one is the goods movement status, and one was the put away status for this material. So if you go here, stock placement, put away status is blank. So these things should be changing. Okay, now this is the ERP inbound delivery. How do I view, or how do I see the inbound delivery number on the EWM side? Okay, there are a couple of ways. I'll explain you both the ways, and these are very important transactions on the EWM side. So /n/SCWM. And as I said, in many of the places, you will see this prefix SCWM MON, which is the warehouse monitor transaction. I hope this is visible to all of you. And all these things are there in the PPT, so you need not worry about it. All these are there, but yes, these are important transactions. So I am showing you one by one, and wherever possible, I'll just write it in the notepad so that you can see what exactly I have typed it in this command prompt. Or not command prompt, or the window for entering the T codes. Okay, then I will open another session. Okay, and you can see this warehouse management monitor. We will be having one separate session on warehouse monitor. So this is a central place where you can access all the data related to your warehouse. You can even configure some of the nodes. That is a part of a technical activity. Everything that you want to monitor related to your EWM, you can do it from this one transaction. Everything. And if some of the nodes are not there, you have a possibility to add those nodes as well. So everything you can monitor. So what we are dealing currently, we are working on the inbound process. So in the inbound process, if I will expand this node documents, you can see that there is an inbound delivery node. I click on this, you get a selection screen like this. So basically this will filter out the data, whatever I want to view. So if you know the inbound delivery number, you can directly give the inbound delivery number. If you know the ASN, you can give the ASN number as well. But if you scroll down to the right, you can see that created on and created by. So created on, we have created it. So let's enter date. And I hope no one else is using this system. So I should see only one inbound delivery. Okay, there are in fact few more. So what I will do is I do one more filter, or in fact all up by my ID only. Okay, all up by my ID only. But if you will see some of the data, I had given this ASN number 2108. Oh, sorry, I gave a wrong date. The system date and the actual date we have could be slightly different. So if you're seeing slightly wrong data, then that is fine. So somewhere insert is placed, right? So that was correct. Insert is not placed. Okay, I'll put my user ID as well. And let's see what we are getting. We are still getting 4, but we had given this ASN number, ASN 2108, based on date. And you can see this is the inbound delivery. And the latest one also, if you want to see the latest one, if you short this down on the delivery document, descending order, this is the latest one. So this is we have created just now. And you can add more data into the filter and you can filter it out. You can see the warehouse activity not started, transit status in transit, put away not started, goods received not started, unloading not started. So everything is not started. Only thing is we have an inbound delivery which has been created on the ERP side with reference to a purchase order, and that delivery has been distributed. Now let me open this delivery. If I click on this, it will open another transaction. I'll explain about this transaction. So now this number, the document number 4410 that you are seeing, this is your inbound delivery number. Now a very obvious question. This is the inbound delivery number. Okay, Vishal, fine. Oh, sorry, okay, Vedant, fine. How do you search for this ERP inbound delivery? There are again a couple of ways of doing it. You can go to this reference document, and here you will see that ERP document, and this is your ERP inbound delivery number. This is your ASN number. So you can see the ERP related data here, that in the reference document, you can see the ERP related information also. Now, I told you that there are 2 ways of doing it, 2 ways of searching for it. And this transaction is nothing. The other transaction which I am going to talk about, that is /O/SCWM. That remains common. Then PRDI. That is a transaction. Let me copy it. And let me put it in the notepad as well. So if I execute this transaction, it will open the same screen. Now, there are things you see this, there are various options you can choose to find this. If you will choose this inbound delivery, you need to give the inbound delivery number. If you choose this ASN, advanced shipping notification, then you need to give the ASN number. But if you want to search by ERP delivery number, then you need to select this logistic execution delivery. And then if you give the ERP delivery number, which is ending with 55, and then if you click on search, then again, it shows the same inbound delivery 4411. So if I expand it like this, you can see 4411, 4411. So the same delivery number is shown here. And then you already know the relation ASN, where you can see the ASN number, where you can see the ERP inbound delivery number. So this is just the delivery that we have, that inbound delivery which has been created. We will do the further processing on this inbound delivery number, which is ending with 55 or the 4411. So this is the number we are going to use. Okay. So I'll stop here because I will be doing the further GR, put away, internal movements, everything on this delivery. And I'll show you what all data is getting changed. That we will discuss in session. But I will stop here. And if you have any questions, then you may ask. Okay, if there are no questions, did anyone thought that, okay, how this delivery is getting distributed from ERP to EWM? If that thought came to your mind?
Distribution model.
Sorry?
Distribution model.
Yeah. So, of course, the configuration for that distribution model is done by the functional consultant in some place, and it is happening through an SMQ, which is like, QRFCs, and that is very important from technical perspective. And that is the reason I am creating these inbound deliveries, because generally these inbound delivery data will be provided to you by the functional consultant. You can, of course, if you have knowledge, you can create those, but generally they provide you the data that, okay, this is the inbound delivery number. And if there is certain issue or if you want to check something, you can proceed with it. But why I am creating this is, of course, to explain you the process, because even as a technical consultant, you should be aware of the basic flow. The basic flow, when I say the basic inbound flow, the basic outbound flow, and some internal movement. So that is what I will be demonstrating over here. But the whole point is the transactions or the distribution that is happening between the ERP and EWM system. You would require to debug that. As an ABAPer, you would require to debug that. Some of the times, the queues would be failing. There would be errors in the queues. Some of the times, queues would be not failing. It would be in the correct status, but let's say the document did not get processed correctly. For example, let's say I had distributed the inbound delivery, and let's say it did not update the ASN number over here, or it updated an incorrect ASN number over here. In the ECC or the ERP side, I gave this reference document number in the external document number. But when it comes to inbound delivery number on the EWM side, and if I check this reference document, I see a wrong number over here. Then in that case, you will need to debug those queues, most probably to find out the root cause of that issue. From that perspective, I would be using the reference of this inbound delivery again, and I'll show you how you can do the debugging in that case. Because if you directly put a breakpoint, it will not work. It's the same system, but again, it is ERP and EWM is still two separate entity in the same box also. So that aspect we will discuss.